Hello, welcome back to Blender CC Live Noding. In this episode, I'm going to be doing something really basic, basically to create this kind of arrangement of box and sphere. And we can actually randomize whether it's going to be sphere or box or it's going to be different color. Yeah, all that. The notes is very simple, but the explanation is really useful, I think, for beginners. So let's get started. So SVerchok nodes, new. Gonna start with a simple box, and by default simple box give you basic box, and I want to kind of have something that casts into sphere, so we use cast. So cast node is super handy. You can cast anything into sphere, cylinder, or prism, or this is something that's more or less like a box. I will use subdivide. First of all, yeah, we need to subdivide it because without these subdivisions, we cannot turn it into a sphere. So with this, we can. So, and then we just plug in the vertices here, and vertices goes there, and it becomes a sphere. So you might actually go too far, and it's become something else. So, but we don't want that. We want to keep it between 0 and 1. So you can use a number. So let's save this very quick. So this is box or sphere. And with this number, you can limit it to 0 and 1. So it's kind of interesting and fun to do. This is limiting the maximum and minimum value. Okay, so you either team box or team sphere. And you can also, now the next thing I like to do is to have to use bmesh, viewer bmesh, because we want to see this as a real object. Okay, so and we want to make arrangement, and for arrangement I'm gonna use vector p. Vector p actually will arrange it in a square or box fashion. Let's make it 4 by 4 by 4. Increase this to, let's make it 3 by 3 by 3. And at any timing point, we can kind of morph between the two. If it's a faceted, we can smooth it. Smooth shape. So now we have something that's smooth. We can blend between the two, and if you like, you can also add subdivisions. So now we have 64 objects being generated on the fly. What if you want to randomize between sphere or square? So you can do that, of course, simply by using random number, and try just plugging this into the strength. Okay, it should be between 0 and 1, and you might notice, okay, it's not as you want it. It's actually applying it into the vertices. Instead, we want it to be for the whole objects, right? So we need to list split. So look at this data coming in. So we have 64 matrix transform data. We have only one data here. So we just split this value into 64. So now we have what we want. We need to ensure this number 64, the total number of transform. So this is correct. The polygon face might need to be repeated 64 times as well. So more correct is actually to use list repeater and make this repeat 64 times. Yeah, something like that. This is actually better. Okay, now so okay, with list split, we have list repeater, we can randomize whether it's sphere or square. You can actually use, instead of integer value, you can use floating value. So it's actually blending. It's blending between 0 and 1, but there's a, and you can actually animate this, which is actually can be quite fun as well. But keep it simple for now. Floating value, integer 0 and 1. So the actual value that's controlling the blend is here, either 1 or 0. Okay, cool. You can subdivide it. Select all, Control 2. So it's a lot nicer now. Can be simpler like that. And then you want to have different color. So for different color, you use material. There is this assign material is and set material index. We need to use both. So this kind of work in tandem. So this guy is expecting objects. So first of all, I'm just gonna plug it here. We need to assign it with a material. So I will use 4 different materials. So it's gonna be four different color. Gonna give it quick random value. Well, actually, let's make it 5. It's almost like the Olympic, just more colorful. And okay, it's 5 different color. So make this also 5. And we just need to give a 5 color. You need to select it under this node, otherwise it's gonna switch back to default. Okay, now we should have only single color at the moment. But if you use this set material index, use random number between 0 and 4 maybe. Could be 0 and 5. Yeah, between 0 and 5. So it should give you all this value, actually between 0 and 4. Okay, plug this into the material index and assign it to all faces and per object. And this number should be 64. It's the same value. So a better way is to make this all procedural and correct. So we get the list length, the total number, plug this in like that. And this list length goes in there as well. So anytime we make changes, everything will update. So that's, I think, pretty much it. We can randomize the material assignment. It's actually gonna kind of randomize the assignment of material into this guy. We can randomize also whether it's sphere or square, which is interesting, and they're all blending together. Anytime you can always randomize it and randomize the positions or not. Keep it simple for now. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. It's a cast to sphere, very useful to turn box into sphere. You can do the opposite. You can change box into sphere or sphere into box using prism, and they're all combined together and making this kind of composition arrangement. And you can actually export this out and it's gonna render. Alright, so hopefully you find this useful, interesting. It's pretty easy, but useful for beginners. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.